Hi Pankhurst class, this is your Friday Talk for Writing lesson and it's the last lesson of the week and the last English lesson of the half term. And today we are planning and writing your own shape poem. Now in yesterday's English lesson, I asked you to have a look at Miss Gossage or Miss Williams' lesson because mine unfortunately would not work. I'm not sure why. There was an issue with uploading yesterday. So hopefully you've had a look at that. If you haven't, go and have a watch of that lesson first because that will help you with today's English lesson. So plan and write a shape poem. And we discussed today in this morning's live session about what we need to include in our shape poems. Can you ever think of what they were? So could you pause the video and write down a list of things that we need to include in our shape poems? I'll give you a clue. Adjectives is one of them. So write down your list of things that we can include in our shape poem. Okay, so hopefully you've included the shape of the poem. So you need to think of your object that you're going to do yours about. And I'll give you some ideas in a moment. You need to include adjectives, so describing words. You need to include alliteration. So that's when the words start with the same letters. And also include similes. That's when we compare something to something else using the words like or as. So I'm going to have a look and we're going to go through some examples now for you. So like I just said, we're going to be writing our own shape poem of your choice. So have a think in your head of what you'd like to do yours on. I need to include alliteration, similes, adjectives, and it can rhyme. It doesn't have to, but it can. And my one that I wrote yesterday, or the one that Miss Gossage wrote yesterday, it had a couple of rhyming sentences, but didn't all rhyme. They don't need to rhyme, and all poems don't need to rhyme. So I want you to decide what your poem is going to be about. It's your choice. Here are some ideas of things that you could write about, but you don't have to. So you could do things to do with nature, for example, flowers, mountains or waterfalls. You could do things about animals, cats, dogs, giraffes or lions, a sport that you like, football or golf or cricket, the weather or your favourite season, winter, spring, summer, autumn, thunder, lightning, sunshine, anything at all that you'd like to do it on. I now want you to have a think of the adjectives once you've chosen your object. So I'd like you to pause the video and have a real think about what you think you'd like yours to do yours on. And then write your list of adjectives for what you're going to describe your object, how you're going to describe your object. I'm going to share my book and I'm going to do mine about a bumblebee. Now, if I stop sharing this screen and I start sharing camera instead, you'll be able to hopefully see my book. Okay, so I've got my book here and I'm going to do mine on bumblebees. So this is just my plan. So I'm going to write at the top, I'm going to write bumblebees. Okay, I'm going to start by doing my adjectives. This is the first thing I would like you to do. So once you've thought of your object or your thing or your sport or your season or your animal, whatever it is you want to do, I'd like you to write your adjectives. You can just write it as bullet points to start with. So I'm going to start with fuzzy, because they're quite furry and the fur is quite fuzzy. Round. Small. Yellow. And black. Stripy. I'm going to use a word translucent. And translucent is when, if you have like a bathroom window and you can sort of see through it, but it's a bit fuzzy. Some of their wings are quite translucent. So I'm going to use translucent in mine. And I'm going to use hardworking, because they do work very hard. And useful, because they're very useful to keep all our flowers and trees going. Okay, so they are my adjectives. I'd like you to pause your video now, and I'd like you to write down your adjectives for your object or your thing or your animal, whatever it is you choose to do yours about. I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've done 9. Try and do around 10 adjectives if you can. If you don't think of 5, only do 5, but try your best to think of as many as you can, because that will help you with your when you're writing your poem. Okay, so hopefully you've written your adjectives. Now the next part of it is we're going to do some alliteration. So you now need to use some of those adjectives to write some sentences using alliteration. So I'm going to try and do this in my book. So again, I'm going to share my camera with you. So these are my adjectives. I'm now going to think of some alliteration. So I'm going to have, I'm going to use, let's have a think of what I could do. I'm going to say that the wings are ferociously fluttering. I'm going to say happily hardworking. I'm going to write bees behave beautifully. I'm trying to think of ones for my fuzzy and round. What could I have? Robust, which means they're pretty strong, and round. They're just different notes that we can use so when we want to include into our poems. I'm going to think of one more. I'm going to say that they are busily buzzing. So I've got a range of alliteration there. You can think of some more, I'm sure. I'll try and have a think of some more of these as I write my poem. And that's fine. You've got some time to have a think, to try and convert it into alliteration. I'll try and have a think of some more for us. Oh, I could definitely have stripy and small together, couldn't I? Because they both begin with an S. So I'm going to say small, stripy, and strong. Okay, so I've got some alliteration there to help me. And the next thing is the similes. So this is when we're going to use like or as, and we compare something to something else. So for example, we've had things like as tall as a tree, as quiet as a mouse. These are saying, we're not saying that they are those things, but we're saying they are like or as something. So I'm going to now think of that for my bumblebees. So my similes, I'm going to say that they are yellow like the sun. And then yesterday, I know you didn't see my video, but I added some extra information. So not just yellow like the sun, but adding some extra information to make it even better. So yellow like the sun on a hot summer day. So that extra information will really help with that section, just to make sure that we're adding as much information as we can. Okay, then my next one that I'm going to choose, I'm going to now do, I've done the yellow, I'm going to do the black section now. So I'm going to say black like the night sky, comma, without a cloud in the sky. So again, I've just added some extra information in there. And then my last one is going to be, so when the bees are really close to your ear, they sound really loud. So I'm going to say buzzing as loud as thunder in my ear. So they're just some examples of some similes, and I'm sure you can think of lots of others. It's just some ideas to give you for what you need to be doing. Okay. So the next thing you need to do is you then need to think, so we've done our adjectives, we've done our alliteration, and we've done our similes. So now you need to draw your outline of what you're writing about. And remember, we're not doing it in lots of detail. You're just doing it in a short amount of detail, just so it's easy to put the poem into it. So I'm going to draw my outline to show you an example. and then you'll be able to see what I mean in what sort of detail. So I've done my notes. I'm now going to draw my outline. Now you can do it on a new piece of paper. I'm going to do that just so I've got enough space. I'm going to turn my page. And up here, I'm going to draw my bumblebee. So I'm going to draw a circle for my bumblebee. Well, it's more of an oval shape actually, like that. And then I'm going to draw my wings. And I'm going to draw my stripes. And then I'm going to draw the little sting at the back as well. Okay, so there, that's my bumblebee shape. And then what you can do is you can start doing your poem inside it. Now you might do yours bigger, larger than mine, but you can draw it and you can do the poem parts inside. So for example, if you were describing the wings in part of your poem, you might put that section inside the wings. So for example, if I go back to my notes earlier on, my wings, I have said, buzzing as loud as thunder in my ear. And the buzzing comes from the ferociously fluttering wings. So I might put ferociously fluttering in the wing section. So here I might write ferociously fluttering. So you can do that, that's not a problem for that section. And then here you might just do the other parts. Or if you'd rather do it in the main section, that's fine. You could do it down the stripes if you were doing a bumblebee. It's your decision how you do it. So then eventually you can have it all written out in your poem. So I might start here and I might say, bees are yellow like the sun on a hot summer's or summer day. And then you can carry on and you can carry on going all the way around. Now I'm not going to write any more for you for now, because I'd like you just to have a try of this by yourself. So you're going to think of your object, think of your animal, and you're going to do all of those things for me on your piece of paper, and then you can show me on Tapestry. So you can put them into full sentences, you can put them into notes like I did in the wings just now on the bee, however you would like to do it. And you want to write it out to see how it looks before you put it into the outline you just drew. So if you'd like to plan it first on a piece of paper and then do one in neat, that's absolutely fine. If you choose to colour in your object, please make sure you do it really lightly so that we can still see your writing. If you push too hard, we won't be able to see it. I really look forward to seeing your poems on Tapestry. Well done for getting through this week. You're nearly there. And then you have a nice week off, and then hopefully we'll see you. We'll be back on teaching from home after half term, but hopefully it'll only be a few more weeks until we get to see you in school. I'll see you soon, Pankhurst class. Good luck. I look forward to seeing your poems. Bye.